My name is Pauline Steffensen. I'm one of the instructors here at Stamp and Scrapbook Expo, and I'm here today to present today's tip of the day. Do you have any pictures, especially old pictures maybe, that you really want to kind of display in a little different way? I'm going to show you a neat way that you can take one of your pictures and actually transfer it onto just a regular old piece of wood. What you're going to need to do in order to do this is you're going to need to take your picture and you're going to need to make a color copy of it. You do need to make sure that when you do go and get a color copy, it does need to be using some sort of toner base. So you do need a color copy versus just printing it out on your inkjet printer at home, because otherwise you won't get the color transfer that you need. So once you have that picture, what you're going to do is you're going to get your piece of wood and get your picture, and you're going to take some Mod Podge, and you're going to, you can either apply the Mod Podge. I actually prefer to kind of apply it directly on the picture, because then it makes it very, very easy to make sure that you get a good coating on it. Because any part of the picture that is not coated doesn't have a nice coat of the Mod Podge, you're not going to get the picture transfer in that particular area. So you're going to want to just go ahead and cover it completely. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit on here. Again, you don't necessarily need to. Sometimes I find it easier to just go directly onto the picture. And then what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to turn this and place it upside down on the piece of wood. Okay. You may have some Mod Podge kind of seep out the edges. That's okay. Wipe it off on the edges if you have any. Now you want to make sure that you get all of the air bubbles out from the project, because if you don't, again, you're not going to have that picture touching the wood, and so it's not going to transfer the colors. I find it easier just using my fingers, because then it's very easy for me to be able to feel the air bubbles. But if you prefer, you can also use an edge of a credit card or a ruler. And so then once you're done with that, you're just going to go ahead and set it aside and let it dry for about I'd say about 24 hours, just making sure that it's dry. I do have one that, for purposes to just show you what you're going to do next, I have had it dry already, so I'm just going to take this other one that's already dried for the 24 hours. And I've got a sponge. It's not really, it's just medium wet. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and lightly kind of just wet this paper. And you can see as you start, you can kind of see the image kind of start to come through. And what you're going to do is you're just going to get it, slightly wet. You don't want it sopping or anything. And then you're just going to take your finger and you're just going to start rubbing on it. And what you're going to see is you're going to see your image start to appear. You're going to get that first layer of paper fiber off, and you're going to see the image start to appear. You're going to want to keep on rubbing, and sometimes what I find is when I did this particular piece, I rubbed on it for a while and rubbed off kind of one layer, let it sit for a few hours, let it actually kind of dry again. And sometimes you'll kind of have a little bit of a cloudy film. If you want to, again, go over it, then you can get more of the paper fiber off. You just want to make sure that you don't rub too awfully hard, because you can actually rub the picture off. If you do, not to worry. I actually did that here, and I just added a little embellishment right here to cover that up. So once you actually have your picture looking the way that you want it to, as far as the amount of clarity in it, then all you're going to do is you're going to take this picture and you're going to add just another thin layer of Mod Podge to the, just like I'm doing on this. And what that does is it just kind of gives it more of a finished, shiny look to make the picture a little more vibrant. So, and then what you have here is a nice keepsake, a little different way to display your pictures, and just kind of a fun little way to put your pictures onto wood. Thanks so much for joining me for the tip of the day, and I hope to see you at our next Stamp and Scrapbook Expo.